Here are the two main reasons why you should learn Magic. Number one is that it gives you the ability to leave people in a state of awe, similar to how they were with the world when they were a child. And two is that it allows you to express your personality while performing and your artistic abilities when developing the card trick. And that's regardless of whether you created it yourself or learned from someone else. And as most kids are, when I was younger, I was obsessed with figuring out how things work. So when a friend of mine showed me a card trick at the lunch table, that's it. I was all in. I was blown away by the effect and I needed to know how it was done. And while doing some research online by searching on YouTube, I found these insane people online who were able to handle cards like it was nobody's business. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you my version of one of the tricks that I learned from them. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday and this is your place to learn Magic, master performance, and captivate audiences. Whew, I completely forgot what it was like to make videos and it feels so good to be back in action. And if you're joining me for the first time, I'm saying it's good to be back because I was off for the past 2 weeks and now I'm back. So the card trick that I'm about to share with you is very visual, and my favorite part is the visual aspect of the card trick happens when the spectator is interacting with the playing cards, which just makes it so much better. I'm excited to share this one with you guys, so before we get started, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and now, let's do it. Alright guys, so check this out. Today we're going to be using the Candy Supers playing cards. I produced and designed these playing cards myself, so pick them up if you haven't already. So we'll start off this trick by giving the deck a quick little shuffle because I feel like that's how card tricks nowadays have to start. And for the card trick, we're going to need the two jokers. Bam, the two jokers right over here. Now, I'm just going to riffle to the side. I want you to tell me when to stop. Let's just say right around here. We'll take the two jokers, put them right over here, sticking out. And now we're going to need a card selected. So as I go through, just touch the back of any card. Let's say this one, this one, this one. Okay. Let's say this one right over there. Take a look and remember that card because if you forget it, that's an issue. So remember that card. Hopefully you have it memorized. We'll take it and leave it sticking out. And of course here, like I said, we have the two jokers. All right. So here's what's going to happen. We have these three cards sticking out. We have your selected card and we have the two jokers. Watch what happens if I push all three of these cards right into the deck. Check it out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You'll see one card rises out from the other side. What actually happened is the card you selected teleported right between the two jokers. And of course, like I said, it's the card you selected. So it is your card, the 4 of clubs. Alright, yo, so let's talk a little bit about the background of this effect. The insane people I was talking about at the beginning of this video were Dan and Dave Buck. And this card trick, I realized after I made it, or after I worked on it a little bit, is it's very similar to their trick called Subway. And in that effect, the same way where I had pushed all three cards in and one card came out the other side, they had two jokers or two aces in one pile. They had two piles. Two aces or two jokers in one pile and the single card in another pile. They pushed both of them through. And the single card came out of here and it was sandwiched between the two aces or two jokers, whatever it was. But so I came up with this and I'm like, wow, this is very similar to their trick. And here we are today. So I'm going to show you my variation on their trick known as Subway. So first things first, like I said, this trick will require a little bit of practice. But what you want to do when you start off the card trick, you want to take out either the two aces, two jokers, two of the same cards. I like to use the two jokers because, you know, they're jokers and it allows other people to pick the aces if they'd like. So once the two jokers are selected, you want to get these two jokers near the bottom of the deck. So what I like to do is I like to give the deck a riffle, and generally I riffle very quickly so I get to the bottom fast. So whenever the spectator calls out stop, it's going to be near the bottom and I can lift up these cards. I would say no more than 10 to 20 cards on the bottom. So I take these two cards, put them right over here, put the rest of these playing cards on top. Now comes the time, or you can spread them out, put them together, whatever it is. But now comes the time for the spectator to make a selection. You want to ensure that the spectator selects a card that's above these two jokers. So you don't want to go down here, and that's where you're leaving a whole chunk of playing cards up here. So like I said, when I riffled, I went through slowly, but when I'm spreading out the cards, as the spectator to touch one card, I go through pretty slowly, right? And I just ask them to touch the back of one card. Let's say they touch the back of this card. Now I'm going to take this card and stand it up about even with these two jokers. And what we're going to do here is known as the spread control. So let me get rid of these two jokers for now. But the spread control works like this. You have the cards, you spread the cards out, and you have one card shifted upwards like this. So as you can see here, I have the Jack shifted upwards, and I line up another card right underneath it. So as I'm showing the cards like this, as I'm coming down, I'm going to push this card up while pulling this card down. And that is, I guess, a quick tutorial of the spread control. So let me go through that in, I guess, quicker speed. Again, you're going through like this. They touch a card, shift that forward, align this in the back, show it to them as you're coming down, make that switch, and there you have that the spectator still thinks their card is there. When in actuality, their card has now kind of been culled to the bottom here. So this is actually a great way to control a card to the bottom if you'd like. So if you square everything up, the spectator would think that's their selected card, but their selected card was moved to the bottom. So when this is pushed in, oh, magic, card to the bottom. So anyway, back to the trick. We have the 2 jokers somewhere near the bottom, and we are doing the spread control. So we have a card selected, let's just say right here. We show this card to the spectator, and we line that card up behind it. So I'm showing this card, it is the Ace of Clubs. Now remember, I'm up here. As I come down, my thumb push it forward, and these 2 fingers, middle and ring finger, pull back. So we're here, make that switch very quickly. This is something you want to practice in front of a mirror, going from, again, going from here, right here, to here. Right, and that's really going to be vital on selling this effect, because once you can do that, the rest of this trick is fairly simple. Right, so you have that card culled here on the bottom, right there, and you're going to spread through and say, okay, we have your card selected here, and now here we have the 2 jokers. So from here, I like to take the 2 jokers, separate them from the pile, kind of show front and back. Here we have the 2 jokers, and as I square up the deck, I'm going to slide this card, right, slide the selected card, the Ace of Clubs is going to slide right in between the 2 jokers like this. So as I'm squared up, if you take a look now, we have the arbitrary card. We have joker number 1 sticking out. We have this card aligned with the rest of the deck that we secretly put in, and then we have the other joker that is misaligned with the deck as well. So when you square all these up, you can kind of even show at first that all these 3 cards are sticking out, and then you square them up, and you can say something special happens when you push 3 cards in, or you can also kind of talk about how this card will teleport between the 2 jokers. It's completely up to you on how you like to perform. So you go ahead, push them in. What you want to make sure is you don't push them in very quickly, because sometimes a whole pile of cards will come out the other side. So you kind of want to take your time with it, push them in, and you'll see 1 card comes out. There may be 1 or 2 cards that are stuck to it, but they won't come out too much. Turn the deck, say 1 card is sticking out, and it's located between the 2 jokers. And I feel like this is one of my favorite parts. You can put that down, and now let the spectator reveal that card themselves. What I would say though, to kind of sell this effect even more, let's say we're going back to where we were. We have the 2 jokers here, we have this ace in the middle here, and we have that random card sticking out up here, right? So let's say we're going back here. Once you square all this up, the best way to sell this effect is having the spectator push this in. And this is what I was talking about in the beginning. The visual impact of this trick is having the card come through the other side. And the spectator interaction of that part will be them pushing the cards in. So tell them to slowly push the cards in, and they'll see something magical happen. So as they push it in, oh my god, there's a card coming out through the other side, no way. I should have probably pushed the jokers out a bit more. But you'll see that card coming out through the other side, no way. And then again, spread it out, and boom, there you have it. You can let the spectator again reveal themselves. The more that the spectator does, the more powerful the impact of this effect will be. So wherever you can kind of squeeze in the spectator to interact a little bit, make sure to have them do that. But there is that revealed card. And let me just talk to you about little small. Let me talk to you about one more thing. Of course, if you already are satisfied with this effect, you're good. But the one effect that I really love is that the card kind of comes out when it's in a sandwich. So if you want to do another trick that involves having, these 2 jokers here, you could even just do like a cull, right? So for example, if you have a spectator select a card, like let's say King of Spades, if you locate it in if you push it in, lose it in the deck, right? You can kind of lose it in like the 4th position here, and then you can kind of cull that card, so you know it's in the 4th position. You can kind of cull that card while going through, and you can show again the 2 jokers, push it right in. My favorite part is that if these 2 cards are sticking out and that card is aligned with the deck, if you push it in, that card will come through to the other side. And it's just a very magical visual effect that people will absolutely love. So there you have the unnamed card trick that I based off of Subway by Dan and Dave Buck. Like I said, this will require a little bit of practice, but it will absolutely be worth it. If you want to see another awesome visual card trick, make sure to click on that video right over there. I think you'll like it. And if you want to see how you can help me make this channel even bigger, make sure to go ahead and check out my Patreon and support me on there if you can. Thanks so much for spending your time with me. It's always a pleasure having you here. Have a great day ahead and hope to see you in that video or my Patreon.